All right. The last thing we're going to do as far as like formatting our page before we get into the bullets and numbering is we're going to add a page border of apples. So we're going to go up here and go to design. First what we want to do is make sure we don't have any text selected and go to page borders and go down here to art. And the very first one is apples. And remember guys, the art comes in really big. So if I click OK here, see how my apples are like going over my text? I mean, they're huge. So I'm going to click page borders and decrease my apple size to about 15. And it's still pretty big there. So I don't want to make them too small. So I'm going to adjust my page margins. So we're going to go back up here to layout, margins, and go down to custom margins. Let's try this. Let's choose moderate first. Moderate works. All right, so now there's some space between our apples and our text. All right, I'm going to hit save, and then we're going to start the numbered list and the bulleted list. For the preparation directions, we are telling the person that is reading the recipe that they need to perform these steps in a certain order. So for that, in our home ribbon, we want to make sure that we choose that one, that we say, first, this is what you do, second, you do this, third, you do this. So we're going to click here where it says use and click the numbering button. All right, when we do that, it automatically gives us a 1 and it kind of tabs our text in. So if we click anywhere else in this table, like click here before the word cut, if you notice when you go up here, it's still gray and this is still gray, meaning that it is still going to be left aligned and it's still going to be numbering format. So I no longer need to press that button. Actually, if I press that button again, it turns it off. So the way that I tell the computer that I'm ready for another step is by pressing enter. So we have use as many or few apples, and then we have cut each apple into a few pieces. Now, our next step is to cook on top of the stovetop. So we're going to click before the word cook and press enter. Now, we have cook on top of the stovetop at a low temperature setting. Some people put a small amount of water or cider in the bottom of the pan to get it started. So the first part of that, cook on top of the stovetop, that is a directive. So that you are telling the reader to do something. When they read some people put, is that actually a step? It isn't. So what we're going to do is click before some people put and press enter. Now, it's not a step. We're actually talking about step 3. So what we're going to do is go up here and click on this button. So you always press enter first. You get the tab or the bullet or the number first. Then you tell it if you want to pop it in or if you want to increase the indent or decrease the indent. So we want to increase the indent. So now cook on top of the stove. Some people put a small amount of water or cider in the bottom of the pan to get it started. Same thing, if you start cooking on a low temperature setting, this is not necessary. So we're going to click after necessary and press enter. All right, we are done talking about step 3. So we're going to pop this out. All right, so our next step is use a masher. Enter and type in the next 2 steps. So, okay, enter. So right here, so we have step 1. It says use as many or as few apples as you want. We recommend. Okay, so again, we recommend is not a step. So I'm actually talking about step 1. So I'm going to click before the word we, press enter, and then go up here and click increase indent. Now we recommend at least a dozen to make a small amount of applesauce. Is not a step. So, but peel and core the apples is. So we're actually starting a whole nother step. So this is another benefit to using that numbered list instead of numbering it yourself, is because it adjusts the numbers based on if you add a new number in between. So I'm going to click before the word peel and press enter. And now peel and core is actually step 2. So I'm going to decrease the indent and pop it out. Now we have our numbered list. It says, but some people add. This is like a grocery list. It's a laundry list of things that you can add to your applesauce. You don't have to first add this and then add sugar and then add cinnamon. It's just whatever you want. So we're going to select from a touch of butter down to nutmeg. We're going to go up here and click the, now when it looks like this, if I want to change my bullet, don't for now. If I want to change the look of my bullet, I can do that right here. When we just have a bulleted list, a one-level bulleted list. So I'm just going to click the button. It's going to give me my bullets. In just a minute, we're going to learn how to change our bullets when there are multiple levels of bullets. So some people like things like a touch of butter, stuff like that. They like to watch people who cook like that, and some people, that drives them crazy. They want to know, like, what is a touch of butter? So we're going to do enter. This time, we're going to try and press tab. Tab should be a shortcut to this increase indent, so that we don't have to remove our hand from the keyboard, click the mouse, then go back and type. We can just use our left pinky key to strike tab. Sometimes, and I don't know why, it just decides to not let you tab, or the opposite of tab is shift tab, and it just won't. So if it like just tabs, but it keeps the black bullet, then you have to hit undo or backspace and then click increase indent. Again, I don't know why. Sometimes it's like in the middle of a Word document. Sometimes it will work fine one day and the next day it won't. Or it'll work in Word and then we go to PowerPoint, it won't work. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, but here is the foolproof way to always make it work like that. Okay, so we're going to say 1 tablespoon is recommended. Okay, for extra sugar, same thing. We're going to click here, enter, tab, start with 1/2 of a teaspoon. A teaspoon is also, it can be abbreviated by a little t, and tablespoon can be a capital T. Maybe that's a review for some of you who had facts, but teaspoon is also TSP. Okay. Okay, cinnamon or nutmeg. Enter, tab, okay, we're going to press enter, and we're ready to talk about one more thing that they can add. So we're going to pop it out. So ready? Shift, tab. So you press and hold shift with your right pinky and strike tab with your left pinky, or click here. All right. Sorry. Probably really hard to read. How's that? Other fruits. All right, here are some suggestions here. Okay, now craisins are actually, it's a trademark name. It's kind of like Kleenex. So we need to put the trademark symbol there. So to get a symbol like that, we're going to go to Insert, over here to Advanced Symbol, and we're going to go, you can go to Symbol, and it's right here. It's this R. Guys, this is also where you can find the degrees symbol if you're looking for the pi. There's the other trademark. Sorry, my dog's being annoying. Let me help you find the degrees. So you can choose the font that you're using. And I mean, there's just a whole bunch here. If you're in world languages and you need to write an A with a tilde or an N with a tilde, that's there. Where's the degrees one? It's right here. So there's the degrees if you're ever looking for that. And that's the same in PowerPoint and other stuff as well. All right. So I'm going to go back to symbol there. I was just showing you that. So I'm going to go back to symbol and just click this little trademark, register trademark. Okay, and you just press insert and it actually puts it into your document and then you just close it. And then you can just treat it like text. If I change my text to red, it'll be red, whatever. Okay, so we have this bulleted list. What we want to do is change the look of the bullets, but it is a multi-level list. First level bullet, so a picture of an apple, like a clip art picture of an apple. So I'm going to go down here and choose Google and search for apple clip art. Also going to make this a little bit smaller so I can pull it off onto my desktop. Okay, so I search for apple clip art and I'm going to go to images. All right, keep in mind, guys, that we're talking about like legit apples, not the iMac apple, and how small the image is going to be. So I am going to start with this one. I feel like that looks like an apple. I'm going to click on it and drag it off onto my desktop. Okay, it should be my first. If I have a stack of images, it should be one of my first ones. Okay, I'm going to go back to my Word document. Now I'm going to click my first level bullets. Now, if you're on a PC, you're going to select the words A down to etc. So you're going to select the words that are associated with your bullets. Up here, go to multi-level list. Define, and see when I click that, notice it grabs all the levels. So like if I had a third level bullet, it would click that as well. I would click define new. And this is just kind of like a series of questions and it shows you what you currently have. So it says, hey, what level are you on? 1, this is what it currently looks like. It's a bullet. Do you want to change that? Yep. I want it to be a picture. And hey, where's your picture? It's on my desktop. And it is that apple. Okay. So it's clear, it's easy to see, it doesn't like pop my text way over. So I'm gonna keep that. And then now I'm gonna change my level 2. So I'm gonna click level 2. It says, hey, what does this currently look like? I would choose formatting for the number. Now, what I could do is go to new bullet and that would take me to symbols and there's like webbings and wingdings and stuff. But for today, all we're gonna do, we're gonna keep that circle, but we're gonna change the color of the circle to red and click OK. So now the second level bullet is just a little circle and click OK. And there it changes all of your bullets at the same time. I always recommend doing that last after you've made your bulleted list. Notice that it goes up to like level 10 and sometimes students will take the time to change all the 10 levels and then be annoyed that you don't see the rest of the levels. Well, yeah, because your bulleted list only has 2 levels. So